All right, let's get right to it. Let's get a little comfortable. Get your little hot chocolate, get your blanket, because this may be a little uncomfortable for Patriots fans. But Tom Brady, he is set to be a free agent for the first time in his NFL career. 20 years in the making, 20 glorious years for the greatest of all time. March 18th, he's set to be a free agent. What is next for the New England Patriots and their future? Where would you like to begin during this discussion?
Might as well just stay with it.
Just go there.
We can kind of go back and forth with our, I guess, predictions of what we think is going to go on with Brady, with the way the playoffs ended. He's going to be a free agent. Where's Josh McDaniels going? Who wants who back and stuff like that. So, I don't know if you want me to go first. You want to go first?
Go for it. Absolutely.
So,
the floor is yours.
We'll get Brady put out an Instagram post on Wednesday morning. It's when we're recording. So Mason, we'll cue that up. And so I was reading that, and when you get to the beginning of it, it almost seems as if he is going to go to maybe greener pastures or wants to try something new. But when he gets near the end, he mentioned something about, I'll be here because I still have a lot left to prove. So
yes,
you can tell he wants to be a Patriot. And then just looking at really the different situations, like what can they give to Tom Brady? There's really not too many around the league that I think provide the stability that the New England Patriots do. Obviously everyone talks about buying the house down in Connecticut and this and that, and how's he going to travel here to games. But just looking at the personnel and the coaches, I don't think there's a coach with the integrity of Bill Belichick out there that can give Brady what he wants. I don't think there's maybe another offensive coordinator, but maybe not someone that's been around Brady as long that can, again, give Brady that support, that stability that he would want in an offense. And then, just hopefully Bill Belichick can give him some weapons around him. We've seen it. He's capable of putting weapons around Tom Brady, so we know that. We just hope that it can come sooner than later at this point. So, I don't know. Yeah, you roll all those things into a ball, and you hope he stays. And I think there's enough to keep him here. 20 years is a long time, and then to kind of switch it up at the last couple of years of your career. So that's kind of what I have to say about that.
Or is it a long time to be with the same people for 20 years? And you know what? For one final time, I'd like to try something a little different. Since the beginning, since the offseason, when the maybe little joking comment, go ask Mr. Kraft about the contract. I believe it was a business negotiation. And it still is from all three parties: Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, Robert Kraft. And since the game has ended, Bill Belichick spoke a little bit in his Monday press conference, or Sunday, I believe it was, since the game was Saturday, end of the season, saying, listen, we know Tom Brady is an iconic figure, but it's not just, there's more than one person involved in this decision. And obviously in Bill Belichick fashion, we're not talking about the future now, so yada, yada. Robert Kraft, pregame on the field, talking about saying, "Listen, he's like a blood relative. He's a third son." Saying, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit here, but saying he's earned the right after 20 years, giving us 6 Super Bowl championships. He's earned the right to be free to make his decision. So Robert Kraft obviously saying we hope and pray that he comes, but also saying, it's Tom Brady's decision. And Brady in the end saying, listen, I'd love to be with the Patriots. If it's not, we'll see. So it seems like everyone's trying to play the PR card at the same time, saying like, hey, Brady, I'd like to be here. Belichick saying, hey, there's more than one person involved in the decision. And RKK saying, listen, it's important that he makes this decision, meaning, no franchise tag, have the right to choose wherever he wants to go. In the end, I don't think money is the number one factor, because obviously Tom Brady is probably the most underpaid athlete for his career, meaning, what he's accomplished. Talking about, whether it's, I look at Jared Goff, for example, getting $35 million for the Rams, and he is, obviously a number one overall pick, and you pay these quarterbacks that much after their first rookie contract. But just looking at, what their capabilities are, it's, Brady should be getting 50 if we're looking at that. Obviously, there's a salary cap, and at the same time, we'll go back and forth on this a lot. The Patriots have been so great because Tom Brady has made those discounts, and more money has been spent on other people around the team to make them such a great organization and such a winning franchise for so long now. I think he's staying. I do think Tom Brady will be staying. You mentioned his post in the end. Yes, he said, I'd like to, not saying I will be back in New England, because I do still think it's a business decision. He wants to get that, a little bit more of that financial respect that he has kind of put away in the past for 10, 15 years now. I believe back in 2010 when he was MVP, he was the highest paid quarterback in the league, but obviously just only 10 years ago was a world's difference in money. I believe that was the highest paid quarterback was 16, 17 million, which obviously is worlds of money in the real world, but in football, that's mediocre money. Just tell it like it is. At the very beginning of this post, like you mentioned, Walter, I just want to say thank you to all our fans. After days of reflection and just what a career, and I'm like, oh man, what is going on here? He's talking about, he's reflecting. He even said this post game. He's saying, I don't think I've had a better career than anyone else with Belichick and Kraft. And I'm like, he's never said something like that. Or like reflecting, I've never had a career like this. So is he talking about the end? But yes, as you mentioned, Walter, at the very end of the post, I'll just read a couple sentences. In both life and football, failure is inevitable. You don't always win. You can, however, learn from that failure, pick yourself up with great enthusiasm, and place yourself in the arena again. And that's where you will find me, because I know I still have more to prove. He doesn't say in Foxborough. He says in the arena. So, that proves to me he is playing football. Mm-hmm. But where is the final answer? Because they still need to come together. March 18th is the day. Maybe he just wants to be a free agent, do the whole wine and dine me just for a little bit. I'd like to experience that once in my career. Who wouldn't? All these teams coming to you. We want you here. Here's what we'll give to you. But in the end, I think all three parties want to remain together and, just keep the greatest faction, if you want to call it that, starting and ending in the same place, and that's in New England. So all said and done, I believe it does stay in New England, but it may be a little shaky over the next 2 months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he could be simply playing hard to get. I
think all three of them are.
Oh yeah. They're all going to try to prove their point. But once you hear the rumblings of Brady's has a visit with so and so team, that's going to put the pressure now on the Patriots to do this. And it's not like we haven't seen it from Patriots players before. I believe I don't know if it was Slater, but Dante Hightower, I believe last year went and visited the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Slater too. Yeah.
Slater too. And ultimately they signed with the Patriots. So I don't know if it's just a tactical business move on Brady to put the pressure on the Patriots to, bring him back. Hey, they might be offering me this. What can you offer for me? But ultimately, he might just be doing it, like I said, just to play hard to get. And in the end, whatever deal they come up with, hopefully it'll be friendly to Brady, but also somehow they can find a middle of the road to be friendly with the team itself. Because going down the list, you have a ton of free agents here that you're hoping to get most of them back to try to make another run next year. And
we can get to those in just a minute, but I'm glad you mentioned when you see the report, Tom Brady to meet with. That'll make it real. Mm-hmm. That will make it very real. A Tom Brady meeting with Los Angeles Chargers, with Tennessee Titans, with Cleveland Browns, with Miami Dolphins, et cetera, et cetera. Like, what? This is actually really happening. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, like I said, it will be that little shakiness over the next, actually not 2 months, because free agency starts March 18th. Maybe there'll be reports of Patriots and Tom Brady can still make an agreement before free agency, But it's after that March 18th that he can converse with other teams. Real quickly before you get to other teams, other players, other Patriots free agents, and the future of the team in that aspect. Mike Reese, longtime Patriots reporter, he thinks that the Tennessee Titans is an ideal fit for a variety of reasons. John Lyons, who was on the show here, Dirty Water Media, thinks if it's not New England, it could be Cleveland, with Josh McDaniels maybe. Only one head coaching job to fill. Didn't even mention that. Maybe we'll fit it in a moment. Joe Judge being the Giants coach out of nowhere, not Josh McDaniels. Only Cleveland Browns yet to fill a head coaching job. So let me ask you, if it's not New England, do you think? Well, first of all, where do you think he's going? If it is New England, what's the second option?
if it's not New England, I mean, I think the way everything lines up, you could go. I think it's Miami. I mean, you got Brian Flores, a guy that's been with New England before. Say Josh McDaniels goes there as the offensive coordinator. They need to fill a void there, and they're looking. It could be to the draft, but if you get Brady, now you can put that 5th overall pick towards another important piece, maybe the offensive line to, keep Brady protected. But that seems like the most straightforward, fit for me because every place else seems a little different. I don't know if Tennessee's banking on trying to franchise Ryan Tannehill and see what happens there because it seems like they're just going to let Marcus Mariota walk. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Miami makes the most sense for me.
Miami is interesting. I think it's Los Angeles if it's not the Patriots because as Brady said post-game, retirement is mostly unlikely. Maybe it relies on the family. Maybe if the Patriots don't work, maybe the family gets together and you know what? Let's just call it a career. Let's go down to Brazil. Let's do our thing. But I think maybe Los Angeles and not the Chargers. I'm talking about the Rams, the real team in LA. Get rid of Jared Goff, and then you have pieces around you. You have Aaron Donald, a world talent at the defense there. You have Todd Gurley. Who knows if he's a good running back anymore? But you have a great trifecta at wide receiver. Not like you did with the Patriots, like you were supposed to have in Week 2 with the trifecta. You have Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Brandon Cooks. Maybe that's not an Edelman, Gordon Brown, but it's better than a Sanu, Harry, Dorsett. So there you go. I think number 2 option is very low, and I'm relatively confident that he will be returning to the Patriots.
Just a quick thing. Adam Humphries last season, he signed with the Titans, right?
Yes.
I believe one of his choices for not signing with New England was because he wanted to build a relationship with his quarterback, and Tom Brady he didn't know what the commitment was with Tom Brady. It would be funny if Tom Brady does go there. Now, you're signed. Now you have Tom Brady as your quarterback. I'm sure he's not going to complain, but
yeah.
How many years of that commitment do you have with Brady at this point? And he's already a year into his contract, however long that is. That would just be a funny way how, what goes around comes around, I guess, or come in full circle, whatever the saying would be.
Right. Yeah. I agree. That will be very interesting. One of the small things in a very, very, very incredibly interesting offseason in New England in sports history. Before we move on to the pick'ems, our power rankings. Okay. Here we go. There's the 8 remaining teams, and we agree. We believe the Ravens and the Chiefs are at 1 and 2, and the 49ers and Packers 3 and 4, and on the other side, the bottom half, Vikings, Seahawks, Texans, and Titans. And with Brady and the Patriots out of the playoffs, it's worth mentioning this is only the 5th time since 2002 that there will be a different quarterback besides, can you name the 4? There will be the 5th time a different AFC quarterback will be in the Super Bowl. Who are the 4
since
others?
2000?
2002.
So it would be, because it was, so who are the 4 quarterbacks?
Yes.
So it's Rich Gannon, Joe Flacco, Manning, and Brady?
Well, after Gannon. That's why it's after that 2002 Super Bowl.
Okay, so Brady, Manning,
Yep.
Flacco,
Yep.
and there is a 4th one?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Who's the other Super Bowl winning AFC team?
I don't know offhand.
The logo's behind us.
Ben Roethlisberger.
There you go.
There we go.
So it will either be Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Ryan Tannehill representing the. Sorry, I laugh, but hey, they beat the Patriots. Who knows? We'll see. Do you want to mention anything about the Patriots free agents before we go quick to the fourth
just going
quarter?
down the list, we could just go quick yes or no if we want
Sure,
them back. Devin McCourty, I'd say universally despite the age getting up there.
Yes.
Good leader in the locker room. Kyle Van Noy.
No.
No?
He's going to be a lot of money. The linebacker position looks good.
Okay. Matt Slater.
Yeah.
Say need a guy like that. Philip Dorsett. I would say no, but
yeah. I say no too, but I'm like, who are you going to get?
Would you rather have had Philip Dorsett this season or Chris Hogan?
I think Chris Hogan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, give me a no on Dorsett. You can find someone else.
Nate Ebner.
Sure.
Yeah. It's funny going down this list. How many of these guys play special teams?
Special teamers,
that'll be whether or not they get re-signed.
Right.
Jamie Collins.
Yes.
Danny Shelton. I
Nah.
would say yes to Shelton. He
Okay.
proved a lot to me later in the season. And then this is an interesting one, Nick Folk. It's like, or do you bank on Gostkowski coming back next
How much
year?
is Gostkowski making? He's up there, right? So maybe you can
Yeah.
shave some money. Cutting Gostkowski. Nick Folk was perfect.
Then just the ones that stand out, Joe Tooney, probably regarded
Yes.
as one of the better guards in the league. You need him back.
Second team All-Pro.
And then Landon Roberts.
No.
I feel like he's replaceable as a linebacker. Bill Belichick's always done it with the linebacker position, especially if he's got to be an all-around guy if he can play fullback as well. So he's expendable.
Couldn't help the Patriots get in from the 1 yard line, so no, I'd say no. There we go. That's the Patriots' future. That's a look at Tom Brady. We'll obviously, as things update, we will be talking about that in great detail over the next couple of weeks with just a few shows remaining. Fourth and final quarter, we gave ourselves plenty of time, but there are 4 games to pick divisional round. Let's get to it right now.